Hi, good morning. Welcome back to Sunday Story Time with JAP. And today we are going to listen to a folk tale from the state of Kashmir. And the title of the story is The Ogress Queen. You know what Ogress is? A man-eating giant. Fine. We'll listen to the story and see how it is. Yeah, long ago, there lived a king, and he had seven wives. You know, those were olden days where polygamy was in practice, especially among the rich and the royal. So this king had seven wives, polygamy. You know, a single wife means you call it monogamy. Single, monogamy, polygamy. And the king had one issue. What's it? Well, you can guess it. He didn't have any offspring. He had no children. Though he had married seven women, he had no son or daughter to, take over the kingdom after he relinquishes the kingdom. So he was a lot worried, and one day he was going through a forest, and he saw a very, very beautiful girl. And the girl asked him why he was looking so sad. And the king told her the reason for his sorrow. And actually, this young, beautiful girl was not really a girl. She was an ogress. And she wanted to enter into the kingdom. And told him, all right, I'll give you a baby if you marry me and make me your eighth queen. And he agreed and took her to his palace, married her the very next week, made arrangements, and the grand marriage was celebrated. Then every night, this ogress queen used to go out, eat a number of horses, sheep, cows, buffaloes, camels, and a few men too. And the guards were not able to find out who was doing it because the queen was doing it on the sly. They were afraid of informing the king, but at one point of time they had no other way, and they went and informed the king that the cattle were missing it at night. And the king was a little thoughtful. And this ogress queen asked him why he was so thoughtful. And he narrated. And the ogress queen, she had a scheme. She thought she would drive out the seven queens, blaming them for the cause. That night, she went out, killed a cow, but she did not eat. She took the meat, no, the beef. She took it, went to the other seven queens' rooms, put the blood in the mouth of, around the mouth of the queens and in the dress, and kept the beef pieces in all the seven rooms, and then went and slept silently. The next morning, the king woke up, and she woke him up rather, and then told him that she has found out that the seven queens are man-eaters and cannibal. That's another word. Cannibal is a person who eats animal. So she said they are all cannibals. They eat human beings also. So you be careful. So he went and saw, and he had adequate proof. So he told his guards to take the seven queens and make them blind, pluck out their eyes, and throw them into a deep, deep well. And in the meantime, the seventh queen, the last one, she had conceived. She had, you know, she had known it, but she had not informed the king. So all seven were thrown into the well, and this ogress queen continued to enjoy feast around. This continued for some time, and the seventh queen, now all blind queens, right, in the well, she delivered a baby, and he stayed in the well. And don't ask the question from where did they get food from and all that. A tale is always about willing suspension of disbelief. You have to believe whatever is said, then only you can enjoy the story. So the young prince was growing in the well, and he wanted to go out. And the seven queens helped the boy. How? One standing over the other, and finally the young boy went out and reached out to the palace, and he helped the cook to prepare lunch and dinner for the king. The food was so good that the king really liked it. And he called and appreciated the cook. The cook was very honest and he said, it's not that I cooked. There's a young lad who cooked the food for you. I said, very good. Call the boy. The boy was called. And he congratulated and gave him a promotion, gave him a permanent appointment in the royal kitchen. And the young prince, every day used to go back, taking some food, give his mothers, or his mother as well as the stepmothers, he used to share food and come back. And one day, the ogress queen called the boy and asked him who he was and where he was coming from. He did not know that the king was a father, and this ogress queen is a reason behind the present condition of his mother and his stepmothers. So he told the entire story of where his mother is and what he does. So the ogress queen was very, very vengeful. She wanted to take revenge on this boy and kill him somehow. So one day she pretended to be ill, and when the king went and met her, she said, look here, I have only one remedy for my illness. I need the milk of a tigress. And the boy is young and he can go and get it, she said. And the king called this boy and told him to get tigress milk. And the boy had to obey. He was going into the forest. At that time, he saw a sage, a saint. And the saint stopped him and told him, look here, don't. The lady who is in the palace is not a human being. She's an ogress. But then the young boy said, no, I have to obey the king because my mother, she has her food because of the king. So I am loyal to him, so I have to carry. Then the sage said, all right, you do one thing. You take this bow and arrow, you go, there's a tigress there. She has cubs, tiger cubs. She would be feeding, and at that time you shoot an arrow, but don't kill. And once you shoot, the tiger will get angry and will ask why you did so. And you tell the tigress that you were angry because she was not properly feeding the cubs, and the cubs were very weak. the young lad agreed and went and did the same. But the tigress said, All right. Now I'll feed my cubs properly. Now, what else do you want? He told her. He narrated the entire lot. And the tigress said, "Look here, I know the lady. She was here in the forest. She's an ogress. Be careful." And the boy was not willing to believe. And the tigress said, "Look here, my milk is such a strong one. Just watch. I'll you take some milk of mine and throw it on the rock. I'll show you what will happen." Then the young boy did the same. And the rock blasted. And the tigress said, "Look how strong the milk is. But that ogress living in the palace will swallow, will take it in one gulp. You go and see." And same thing happened. Then the young boy was treated very well by the king now, because he brought tigress milk also. She pretended to be all right, ogress. And after a few days again, she pretended to be a demon, pretended to be ill, the ogress. And she called the king and told him, "Look here, my grandmother is living in the forest. She has medicine for me. You ask this boy to go and get the medicine. I'll give a letter to my grandmother and she'll give." So she wrote a letter. You know what she would have written? "The bearer of this letter is my enemy. Immediately kill him and eat him." So she gave the letter. It was not written in human language. It was written in the ogress language. And the boy carried the letter. And on the way, he met the sage once again. And the sage said, "No, this is not right. You're not doing the right thing. You're doing something that is going to end up in a lot of problems for you. Show me the letter." The sage, because he's a sage, he knew the language of ogress and he read out. And he said, "Okay, but let me see the grandmother." So he goes into the forest, meets the grandmother after taking some guidance from the sage. And the sage, in the meantime, what he had done, he had changed the letter. The boy who is coming, he wrote in the ogress language, "The boy who is coming is a very good boy. You give him whatever gifts you have, the highest valuable things that you have, you give it to him." And the boy gave the letter to the grandmother of the ogress queen. And the grandmother read the letter, gave him a lot many gifts. Among them, she gave one medicine that can restore eyesight to blind people. And also 8 sticks. And the 8 sticks contained in them the lives of 8 brothers of the ogress queen. The augurs. The 8 augurs. And if the stick is broken, they'll die. And then an egg. And she said, "This egg contains my life." And then gave a bird. "This bird has the life of my granddaughter." So saying, she said, "Okay, I'll have a bath and come." So the moment the grandmother left the place, the boy broke the egg. The grandmother died. Now the boy believed that now we'll have to take some revenge. He went, and on the way, went to the well, gave the medicine to his mother and his stepmothers there, rescued them from the well, and told them to hide in a room in the palace. And then went to the king and told the entire story over to the king. And told him, "Just in front of you, I'm going to kill the ogress queen. You watch." So he caught hold of the bird and wrung the neck of the bird, and the ogress died. And after she died, her beautiful form disappeared, and the ogress was, lying on the floor. And the king now realized what mistake he had done, what sin he had done. He apologized to his 7 queens, made the young prince heir apparent to the throne. He led him to the throne, crowned him, and retired to the forest along with his 7 wives and lived there happily ever after. And there we come to the end of today's story, the Ogress Queen. Hope you enjoyed the story. We'll meet next week. And until then, goodbye.